Welcome to the Andy Ruther Show. Here is your host, Andy Ruther.
Welcome to the Andy Ruther Show. I'm your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you on this lovely Wednesday, February 12th. We got hit with some more snow. Gotta give a little weather update. Let's start out with the weather update as if you guys care. Got hit with some snow overnight. I used to love snow, but it's cool at first and then it just gets dirty. It just gets dirty, slosh, and it's all brown. It's dirty. I'm gonna go overrated. Snow is overrated. Like, it's cool at first and it looks pretty, and the snow on the trees is very scenic. And then you're just like, ugh, it's dirty. It's just dirty. Like, I went to the grocery store today after I dropped off Isla at daycare, and I'm just saying, it's just dirty. There's just slush everywhere. It's just I'm just over it. That's all I'm saying. I'm over it. We had a big snowstorm last month, and the snow literally stuck around for 3 weeks because it was so cold. And I didn't think we'd get hit last night. What you gonna do? I live in the Midwest. This is what I'm dealing with. Hot summers, some cold, some snow. I did have the fire going yesterday, fireplace. You know what's not overrated? Fireplaces and fires. I'll say fireplaces and fires are underrated. Who doesn't love a good fire? I get those logs, where you light the bag. We don't have a big fireplace. Where you light the bag that the log's in. It cooks for like 3 to 4 hours. It's a nice little fire. Get those at my Costco for cheap. About a 9-pack of those logs for $30. I'm happy with that. But yeah, the fire, had the fire going. Brittany's obviously home with Molly, the little baby. Get the fire going, set up the mood. It just feels nice. Love the fires. Snow overrated. I don't hate snow. I just think it's a little overrated. Even my 2-year-old, my soon-to-be 2-year-old's like, yeah, it's cool. Not that cool. It's pretty cool. Not that cool though. She's doing great, by the way. I want to give a shout out to my little girl Isla. She's doing great with her little sister, and it's so heartwarming to see. She's really embraced her. She's loving. She's doting. It's really cool, man. It's really cool. I had a nice moment last night when I was doing the nighttime bed stuff with Isla and Brittany, and Molly was there, and Isla kept hugging her. It was so cute, and kissing her and trying to hold her. And I had a moment. I was like, this is really cool. You guys being less than 2 years apart is great for the rest of your life. You're always going to have each other when we're long gone. When we're long gone. Brittany, what did she tell me? That she saw something, and it was kind of, classic white girl sappy stuff. But it's true about your siblings. You spend more time with your siblings, and your siblings, God willing that you live a full life, more than your parents, more than your loved ones. I forget what the quote was, but basically, you meet your partner later in life. Your parents die, but you spend the most time of your life with your siblings. Was kind of the gist of it. I don't remember the exact quote, but I was like, that's really profound in a way, and it's cool. And I think about that with my brothers and me, and with my parents not being here, and it's like, thank God I have them. Thank God we had each other when we went through everything. So I had that moment, and it was really nice, and I just think about those things because guys know how I think, and I was like, this is pretty cool that you guys are going to have this bond, and you are going to be close in age. And I was thinking yesterday when Isla's a senior in high school, Molly's a sophomore, and it's just all that. I'm like, you guys get 2 years of high school together, all that. It's nice. Molly's turning color. She's changing. Dude, what's up with it's crazy how much kids like she comes out a little roasted. Isla did this. You come out a little dark. Like she comes out, you're like, oh, were you in the sun? Were you just hitting the tanning bed? They come out here's what's crazy. White babies come out darker and then they lighten up. Like Molly's already starting to lighten up. And black babies will come out lighter and they darken. I was literally Googling that. I was like, why is that? Why do white babies get lighter and black babies get darker? Like when my kids were born, I was like, oh, they could think you're Mexican. I don't know. That's you got the dark skin. You got that dark skin and I can already see it. I was holding her last night. I was like changing her and I was looking at her body and I was like, oh yeah. You're already starting to lighten up. You're already starting to become Caucasian. You already are turning into that white girl. It's weird though. It's weird. And then you look at black babies and you're like, hey, why are you so white? And then they get darker. It's kind of interesting. The changes and how quickly it happens. And we're 3.5 weeks in, and I already see a big transformation. It's just amazing, right? You're like, how's this happen so quickly? You look like Dora the Explorer 3 weeks ago. Now you're a basic white girl. What happened? It happened so quickly. I've been doing gymnastics on Saturday with Isla. I've been doing gymnastics. And we go, and let's put that in air quotes, gymnastics class. It's like 6 weeks at the gym that I belong to. And it's basically just kids jumping on trampolines and doing stuff with their parents. And I already can see I'm going to be annoyed with like there's already parents, right? This class is for one. I think it's for 1.5 to 3-year-olds. I can just already see my future, my crystal ball of just being like, oh, these parents are annoying. So we're sitting there, we're getting ready for the class. They do like an opening stretch and they play a song and the kids dance. And it's like 2 young girls who, let's again, in air quotes, say teach it. They're basically just there. I don't know, maybe 17, 18, 19 years old. Anyway, they start talking about Disneyland with one of the parents, and she's going on and on. We go every 4 years and X this and that. And I just want to turn around and be like, no one cares, lady. No one cares. I also wanted to say, why do you hate money so much? Guys, I'm just saying this right now. And I know you should never say never. You should never say never, ever. I will never take my kids to Disney World or Disneyland. It's like, now maybe if I lived by it, I would. I live in Ohio. You know how expensive it is? You know how expensive it is to go to these places? Dude, it's insane. I'm not, obviously California's too far away, Disneyland, which obviously I've been to. Disney World in Orlando. I'm not taking my kids down to Orlando, Florida for a vacation. This woman's talking about every 4 years they go. Every 4 years you visit Disney World? That's just it's a terrible family move. As I show my Star Wars cup, the irony here, my Stormtrooper cup. I'm just saying, like, I would never do that. The thought of being down there with all those gross people in line and just paying an arm and a leg to ride some rides and see Mickey Mouse. And I have a daughter who's obsessed with Mickey Mouse, loves the whole crew, loves all of them. No way, though. No way I'm dropping thousands of dollars versus just taking them to a beach somewhere where they can enjoy the beach, they can enjoy the ocean, they can enjoy all those things. And it's also relaxing. Disney would stress me out. It's relaxing at the beach. There's nothing relaxing about waiting in line with a bunch of obese Americans shoving funnel cakes in their mouth while Mickey's going, hey, kids. Hey, kids. There's just nothing relaxing. I just wouldn't go. But anyway, this mom is just going on and on about their every 4-year trip to Disneyland and then she has like a 5-year-old boy who shouldn't. I'm like, your kid shouldn't be the kid's too old. You have your daughter and you have like a 5-year-old. The kid's too old. You can't have a 5-year-old in this class with a bunch of 2-year-olds. You just can't. Like the kid's out of control and then he's scaring the other kids and just get the kid out of here. I know how boys are. I am one. I know how rambunctious they are. Just leave the kid at home. Leave the kid with the man. I don't want to deal with this. Anyway, I was already having like premonitions of my future of just like annoying parents. Disneyland. She was almost like bragging, like, we go every 4 years. I literally wanted to turn around and go, you hate money. Just light your money on fire. Speaking of the beach and the ocean, I saw this clip. Like, I follow random stuff on Twitter, right? So, like, I follow entertainment stuff, sports, some politics, but like, I follow some of these nature accounts because I love animals, right? And I saw some of these clips of like great white sharks, which I'm obsessed with. We all know. I saw this clip, this dude, this lone kayaker in New Zealand is just fishing, and this great white comes up and just starts stalking him. It's all like I watch this and I'm like, what would I do in this situation? What would I do? Check this video out. This is crazy.
Great white. Great white. Great white shark.
It's even better at that. Great white shark. I mean, look at this. He's completely by himself. There's no one in the vicinity. There's no one. It's just this little kayak and a great white. Oh my God, that would be so. I almost tense up watching this. The thought of that would be absolutely terrifying.
Out of here. Oh, mate, get out of the rudder. Oh, mate, get out of the rudder.
What is the brudder? Get out of the brudder. What's the brudder? Like what does that mean? Get out of the brudder? What's he saying? Can I get somebody from New Zealand to translate? It's amazing to me that we speak the same language and I don't know a single thing that he's saying. That blows my mind. English is the same language that we speak. Get out of the brudder. Oh no, oh boy, great white. Get out of the brudder. This thing is just stalking.
There's a huge great white behind me.
It's just following him. I mean, it's terrifying.
Following me. He's still behind me. He's going at my rudder.
His rudder. Oh. That's what
He's following me.
Rudder.
He's still here. He's still behind me. He's just following me. He's still following me. He's got a distance, but he could swim up on me at any moment. Tangaroa, please get me home safe, Tangaroa.
So I don't know if is that like a New Zealand god who he's asking for help? The rudder is a flat surface at the stern of a ship or boat that steers the vessel by changing its angle relative to the water. That's the rudder. So he's saying, get out of the rudder. Dude, what a terrible way to go. Like, can you think of a worse way? That's got to be an all-time worst way. Like, at least if you're going to get attacked by a shark, I'd rather not see it coming. Because in this case, he's got the anxiety of that shark just stalking him. just following him. I hope he got out. I hope he got out. Maybe he did. Maybe the shark uploaded that video to Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. Maybe the shark uploaded it to TikTok. I saw another one. Underneath that was another one. This is a wild one. This tiger shark just jumps. This dude's in. Where's this dude? Look at this. Look at this. A tiger shark just. No, let's do this angle. A tiger shark just jumps up. Come on, Andy. Like, do the right screen. Sorry, this is ridiculous. Do a screen. Do the right screen. No. Fifth time's a charm. Okay. Watch this. A little boat. This is in Hawaii. This tiger shark just literally like jumps up on the boat.
Ah! Tiger shark! Tiger shark ran me.
He sounds like a little Asian kid in Goonies. Tiger shark ran me. Look at this thing. But he's like pretty. Look at the size of this thing. Look at this. Look at this, just jumping up. He's actually pretty. Like, the dude is actually pretty calm. You see the shark coming. I don't know if he was watching or not. Watch this.
Ah! Tiger shark! Tiger shark ran me. Holy.
Look at this. In slow-mo. It just bites up on the boat. This is like a scene from Jaws. Bro. That's insane. A tiger shark ran me. No like it, tiger shark. Me one way. That's crazy. That's insane, man. I've always wanted to go swimming. I know I've said this. I'll say it again. I've always wanted to go cage diving with sharks. A little different when you're in a cage, man. These unexpected meetings, I'm not a fan of. I'd rather be in a cage where I know it's happening. They just roll up on you. A tiger shark ran me. Man, he got out of there. He was chill. This dude was way more chill than the dude in the great white. Maybe he knew that the shark just jumped up, wanted to see what was going on, bit the boat, whereas the great white's just stalking you. There's that great YouTube channel that I watch sometimes, the Malibu artist that just follows these sharks. I know I've talked about it on Dirty Sports. He just follows sharks in Southern California. I've always wondered if I was ever near a great white shark. There's a lot of great white sharks out there. I guarantee you, with the population of great white sharks, I guarantee you at some point I was in the vicinity of a juvenile great white. Guarantee it. For as much, not that I was even going out that far, but you can see if you watch some of these videos, especially that guy, the Malibu artist, you see how close they get to shore. And it's almost a calming feeling knowing that there are that many around and they don't attack. They are a species that just doesn't, Jaws is obviously overblown. They just don't attack. It makes me wonder. I'm like, was I ever near sharks? How crazy is that? What do you think I have a better chance at, getting attacked by a shark or getting raped by Diddy? Like if they had to do a betting odds, do I have better betting odds of getting attacked and bitten by a shark or waking up with a hurt booty because I was near Diddy? I finished there's so many Diddy docs out there now. There's a bunch, right? I finished the one last night. I was chuckling to myself. Which one did I watch? Brittany mowed through it and went ahead of me. I didn't have time. The TMZ one, which you know what you're going to get with the TMZ. I watched it on Max. TMZ presents The Downfall of Diddy. I think it's like 4 or 5 episodes. The Downfall of Diddy. I mean, it's okay. But I was thinking to myself, I was up a couple nights ago. It was like 1:30 in the morning, and I'm watching it, and the assistant, I think it's the last episode. Yeah, it's the last episode, the shortest episode. Diddy's former assistant is talking about his freak offs, and he had another name for it. Uh, what was it called? Diddy's King Night? What was it called? Pull this up. What did he call him? What did he call him? Wild King Night parties. Yeah, so his former assistant, and he shared all these text messages. But anyway, like it's pretty graphic, and he's talking about, cleaning up all the baby oil and the blood and just whatever happened at these sex parties, and it's pretty graphic. Meanwhile, I'm feeding a 3-week-old baby, like feeding her bottle. I'm just like, yeah, this is kind of this is like the image of this is like I'm watching this like intense documentary on, for lack of better terms, some pretty fucked up shit. Meanwhile, I'm just like feeding a bottle to this adorable baby at like 2 a.m. He is a monster, man. I mean, again, like how many people knew about this stuff? This went on for so many years, but you watch the documentary and nobody wanted to speak because of fear of basically dying, which is understandable. The more I watch it, I'm like, okay, I understand a little more why you don't speak out. He's a monster. Who knows how many deaths he's connected to? Now, I just saw this a few hours ago. He is suing over another documentary, $100 million for NBC, because I guess NBC's documentary called Diddy, the Making of a Bad Boy. I might watch it. It's on Peacock. I mean, again, we got a lot of late nights. I got a lot of late nights with the baby. So it's like you just put something on. Is basically alleging that he murdered Kim Porter. Which I've said I think everybody says that, right? He just dies. Would she die of pneumonia or something? You don't just die. Like Diddy had his hands in a lot of people's deaths. It's Jeffrey Epstein on steroids in a weird way. It is. For sure, he was probably involved in the Tupac thing. I think, for sure. But I guess NBC is being sued by him because he says they accuse him of murdering Kim Porter and having sex with 2 underage girls. And now he wants $100 million. Bro, I think this is the least of your worries. There's just troves and troves of evidence. He looks evil in these documentaries. Like, just the thing that I was watching on the last episode of the TMZ one, again, what's it called? The Downfall of Diddy. What I was watching was when they would show personal videos, like unreleased videos that you could see, especially from his former assistant, of his eyes, especially if he'd been drinking. Like Diddy had the look in his eyes of just a sinister, evil man. And what's crazy to me is that he works nonstop, and he's got all these businesses and all these ventures and all these things, and he still has time. And obviously it's all drug induced. They really go into that, which is a whole level of how could he stay up for all these freak offs? How could he stay up for all these wild king night parties where they're just literally days of sex, and they literally are giving girls IVs or people IVs to continue? It's insane. All while being a music mogul, all while having his hands in all these different businesses. He's a billionaire. Like, where's the time? Like, it's insane that somebody like him doesn't just die of a heart attack or something. He's putting all these things in his body. He's just, dude, he's like a character out of the Bible. Like, if you've ever read the Bible, He's like a Sodom and Gomorrah character. He really is. So I went to Catholic schools my whole life. So you basically read the whole Bible, Old Testament and New Testament, my freshman year. You literally take a class called Scripture and you just read it. Diddy is like a character described in some of that Old Testament stuff. Just a complete monster, an unchecked monster who did this stuff for years. I'll probably watch the NBC one because they don't touch on Kim Porter. They touch on Kim Porter in the one I just watched, but they don't touch on the allegations of death or allude to her being murdered. Now, the autopsy says she died of natural causes, but I'm like, yeah, natural causes. Yeah, that really adds up. She was how old? She was 47. She died of natural causes. Yeah, let's see here. Let's see well, not that Wikipedia is exactly a good source. She died after several days of flu-like symptoms. Her cause of death was listed as deferred on her death certificate, and after an autopsy was completed, the LA coroner's office confirmed that her death was a result of a lobar pneumonia. Or lobar, I don't know how it's pronounced. I just don't buy it. I don't buy it at all. Sorry, I don't buy that. Don't buy any of that. You don't think Diddy's a billionaire? You don't think he could pay off a coroner? Dude, people don't realize when you are a billionaire with a B, you literally can do whatever you want unchecked. He's prime example. I'm shocked they even got him at this point. You making everybody sign an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement. You have the money, you have the resources, and you have the power to literally shut anyone up or kill them. Or just kill them. She had all those things on him in her diary. It's it's another level when you are a billionaire with a B. It's just I don't think like, and I can't even grasp it. Like you, as just a common, regular, everyday person, I don't think you can grasp the level of money and the level of power that somebody has. That's why all this is kind of interesting. It's like, why did they finally go after him? Because obviously a lot of people knew. People knew about this stuff. I think a lot of these things are now catching up because, like I always say, you live in an age where people have access to information. People have access to learning things on their own. There's not just the mainstream media, which is basically dying at this point. It's everything from podcasts to YouTube to social media. That's my question. Why? I always want to know, why did they decide to go after Diddy? Because everybody knew he was doing all these things. And basically, once one person comes out and says, oh, yeah, he was a monster. He was a movie villain, the worst kind of movie villain. And then once one person exposes some of these things, then everybody comes out. So $100 million lawsuit, it's like, dude, you're like, I don't see him lasting. I don't see Diddy lasting. I think it's going to be another Epstein situation. I just don't see him lasting. And more and more just keeps coming out. And as far as content, like, I'll probably watch a lot of this stuff. I mean, guys, I grew up with this. I grew up with Diddy. I listened to all that music. I listened to a lot of Bad Boy. I mean, that's why, like, for me, it's a part. He was a part of my life from like a music pop culture standpoint. For you younger kids, I don't know what the equivalent would be, but this is a guy whose music is constantly on in the car, I'm constantly listening to, the high school dances, college, back when music videos were a thing. I mean, you can't understate how big Diddy was on everything. music, acting. He had Ciroc, the vodka. It's like there's so many. He just was nonstop making the band. I mean, there was just so many different things he had his hands in. And in the background, he's just an absolute monster. Just a disgusting and vile monster. That's why it's all so interesting. And again, this went on for so many years, and nobody said a peep. Nobody said a word. Hollywood's an interesting business because people will just sell themselves out, or they'll keep their mouth shut because of the allure and the prestige and the fame and all that. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Speaking of Hollywood, I had something pop up on my phone today. It was today. I always look back on my life, as I say. It was today, 9 years ago, was the very last show we did for Dirty Pop with Lance Bass. It was the very last episode. Last show was February 12th, 2016. And I was like, wow, it's been 9 years since that show, since it ended. Which we talk about Diddy and we talk about like some of the awful stuff. My experience with Lance Bass and my experience with Dirty Pop was nothing but great. Nothing but positive. I only have great things to say. And I'll probably text our crew later and be like, guys, look what pops up on my phone. In fact, I will. 9 years ago. And that was a fun job. That was a hard job, but that was a fun job. That was a good job for me. And I'll never forget like how many things I learned and just the grind and writing for a show that's on 5 days a week, 2 hours a day, writing, helping produce, being on air. Like it was a lot. It was a lot, but it was a lot of fun. And the truth is something like this Diddy stuff would be such great discussion for us. It'd be such a great discussion. And the show was fun, man. The show was a lot of fun. Dude, working on a daily show, the grind, people don't realize the grind is just nonstop. I bet you, so let's see here. We did shows Monday through Friday. We were live 2 hours a day on Sirius XM. I bet you I put in the work I put in for each episode to make a segmented, well-run show. Obviously, we had some commercial breaks. I bet you each show was like 5 hours of work that I put in personally. And and that doesn't include like being on air that's the easiest part. Just the mic turns on and then we're all there and it was fun. It was fun. But what's crazy is, I don't know if I've ever talked about this. What's crazy is how I learned that we got canceled. So we used to obviously talk a lot of pop culture. It was Dirty Pop, and that was one of the main things we talk about. So I would always peruse page 6 of the New York Post, which is like the gossipy stuff. I literally learned we got canceled from reading a headline in page 6 about the show. Now, we knew we were on the chopping block to possibly get canceled. I think at that point, Lance had the show for 5 years. And I came in in the latter part of that. But I literally read a headline from the newspaper that we were getting canceled. And I was like, this isn't good. And I texted our producer, Drew. And he's like, yeah, it's not official, but I think we're getting canceled. That was just like such a like entertainment world moment for me, where I remember thinking, wow, I just learned I'm out of my job because of page 6 of the New York Post. When I got hired, I was about a year into Dirty Sports. So Dirty Sports was new. I started working for him in I started January 2015, and then the show ended like 13 months later. But like, it was fun, man. And you know what was great about that show was that everybody was so supportive. Everybody was great to work with. And it was again, it was a lot of work, but you're like, I'd always be like, okay, dude, for me, it was cool because I'm like, I'm going to Lance's house. We recorded out of his house. And I would just say, wow, we get to talk pop culture. We get to talk news. We get to do some fun segments. We have celebrities coming through his house every day, or multiple times a week. And it was just a cool, it was a vibe. I know everybody uses that word. It was a cool vibe, man. It was a lot of fun. And those guys were great. And then we do road trips for work and just everything. All those memories came flooding back to me. Basically, when I saw that we were when that thing popped up on my phone today, it was like, there's a picture of the empty studio where we recorded that I took a few pictures the last day, and I was like, oh shit. 9 years ago. 9 years ago. It makes me feel old. That was a lot of fun though. Yeah, we had some interesting guests on there. So like I would have to like prep, right? Because I would write the questions for the guests. So you'd have anybody from like a huge name on to like somebody promoting the reality show on E. And I just remember I used to have to watch some terrible shows just to prep, just to get us all ready. But it was great, man. It was great. And I was thinking about that. And like I said, I'm probably going to text those guys today and just kind of reminisce on the old days of Dirty Pop with Lance Bass, which is ironic because I just finished the Lou Pearlman doc. Again, me and the documentaries on Netflix. Which is also called Dirty Pop. Dirty Pop, the boy band scam. It came out last year on Netflix. And it just talks about the Ponzi scheme that Lou Pearlman did and his whole history of how he built Backstreet Boys and NSYNC and all these other boy bands, and he scammed people out of money. It's a fascinating documentary. He ran the longest Ponzi scheme in U.S. history. Now, Bernie Madoff, I think, scammed the most money in the largest Ponzi scheme. Lou Pearlman ran the longest Ponzi scheme. It's actually a really good doc. Now, Lance had produced a documentary on Lou Pearlman, which is on YouTube. I think he made that. I remember we went, we all saw it. He had like a whole event for it. We all went to at the theater. I want to say 2018 or 2019. So he made one, which is actually pretty good too. I got my brother to watch both. He's like, oh, this is fascinating. It's insane. But yeah, that was also called Dirty Pop. And it's pretty interesting to see what he did and how he conned all these people and how he created these boy bands. And just, again, that's something that I grew up with. I talk about Diddy. You guys don't understand. Backstreet Boys and NSYNC were so big when I was in high school and college. So big. I don't think people realize the level of what these guys were doing. It was insane. I mean, when NSYNC came to Cincinnati, they're putting damn near 50,000 people. Think about that. Damn near, that's Taylor Swift level, 50,000 people at the old Riverfront Stadium. It's next level insane how big they were. But, NSYNC performed, they were one of the performers for the halftime of the Super Bowl. That's how big these boy bands were. And Lou Pearlman created all this. And he was scamming people. And then he was scamming both Backstreet Boys and NSYNC and all these other artists. There's just so many levels to this, his whole history of how he scammed people. It's all very, very, very fascinating to me. It's really interesting stuff. And again, it's a genre that I grew up with, and you're like, wow, this is huge. Dude, if an NSYNC or Backstreet Boys song came on when I was in college, people just went to the dance floor. It was just catchy. It was pop. Everybody loved it. Dudes would dance to it. Chicks would dance to it. Everybody had their favorite group. Everybody had their favorite member. It was a thing, man. It was a total thing. That's why I like watching these documentaries, because I'm like, it takes me back in time as well. And I see those things. And that's why even more so for me, when I got to work for Lance, it was like a moment for me where I was like, dude, I used to hear this guy's music all the time. Now I show up at his house every day for work. You know, it was like a thing for me. I was like, this is funny. It's funny how the world works and how things come full circle. But that's another great documentary. I know I recommend a lot of documentaries and I talk about them, but the Dirty Pop one on Lou Pearlman, if you haven't watched it on Netflix, is another just really interesting documentary that I highly recommend. The Diddy one is interesting too. The Diddy one I just watched on Max, The Downfall of Diddy, is interesting. If you're looking for time fillers, that's my thing with documentaries. Like, am I just filling time? Again, I got a baby that needs to eat every 3 to 4 hours with a bottle. It's like, that's a good time filler. So these documentaries they're just great time fillers. There was one more thing that I wanted to cover. Do we have time for this? What do I mean? What am I talking about? Do I have time? I can do whatever I want. I think to pay homage to my old job with Lance, Dirty Pop, I have to do another Craigslist Missed Connections. I think that's the only appropriate way to get out of this show. I did this, I think, a month ago, or I don't know when I did. And again, something that I did when I worked for Lance was like, let's go over Craigslist Missed Connections, which is still crazy to me that they still exist. Craigslist Missed Connections. You basically go on Craigslist, which I don't know how Craigslist is really a thing in 2025, but people think that if they post, somebody might see it and they connect with them. So I have Craigslist Missed Connections from Cincinnati. Let me just go through a few of these. This one is titled Walmart Milford. I know this Walmart in Milford. It's right by where my brother lives. This guy posted it 4 days ago. I always say guy. I assume it's always a guy. You were working at Walmart today and you waved hi at me. Wanted to come talk to you, but had my kids with me. Ooh. If you see this, hit me up. See, again, why don't you just walk over to them? You may hate your kids. It doesn't mean you still can't hit on somebody, dude. Even though you got your kids, it doesn't mean you still can't hit on somebody. Do you know the odds of this person going on the Craigslist Missed Connections to actually see this is like the most infantile, how do you say that word? How do you say it? Infantile style, infantile? Guys, am I just making up words here? Like, dude, does my brain work anymore? It probably doesn't. You know what I mean, though. Very small odds. You probably have bigger odds of winning the lottery. I just picture a dude who's like, hey, I saw that hot girl. I was at Walmart, had my 3 kids. I'm divorced. I'm a truck driver. She looked hot. Her name was Becky. Oh, man, Becky. Becky had a nice little rack on her. Hey, Becky, if you're reading this, hit me up. I'll show you my guns, if you know what I mean. Who's reading this, though? That's what I'm saying. Who's reading this? What else we got? This one was by me. By the way, here's one literally like down the street from me. St. Vincent de Paul employed me, Beachmont Avenue. This is no lie. The St. Vincent de Paul where we drop off all our stuff. We drop off all our stuff at St. Vincent de Paul. We've been trying to do some cleaning up here and getting rid of stuff, and Brittany's done a great job. And This is where I go. The St. Vincent de Paul right by me. So a missed connection, what are the odds? Right by me. It says, hi, you were the petite blonde working there. I was the guy who asked for the bathroom. Number 1 or number 2, dude? I thought you were very attractive, and I caught you looking at me on my way out. Not sure if you're attached, but you definitely caught my attention. Ooh. Nothing says Craigslist Missed Connection. Nothing says finding your significant other than the St. Vincent de Paul thrift store. This person actually uses correct grammar, because I've noticed a big problem with the Craigslist Missed Connections. They don't use correct grammar. That's probably why they're still using Craigslist. Here's what's crazy. I saw another St. Vincent. Are people meeting at St. Vincent de Paul? I saw another one. I saw another St. Vincent de Paul. This one in Western Hills, which is the opposite side of the city where I live. Literally all posted within a few days of each other. St. Vincent de Paul, Western Hills. I wonder if it's the same person. Is there somebody that's going around just trying to bang chicks at St. Vincent de Paul? It's got to be, right? You were working the register and we struck up a conversation about a guy's voice. Then I saw you later at another store. What? I wanted to talk to you, but I couldn't find you in the store. I thought you said you just saw her at another store. Tell me what I bought and what we taught. Oh, maybe it's a worker who worked at another store. Tell me what I bought and what we talked about so I know it's you. I would love to connect with you. This is like a Hallmark movie. This is either a Hallmark movie or a horror movie. Either ends in some beautiful relationship or some chick cut up wearing, some chick tied up in the basement wearing old St. Vincent de Paul clothes. That's what this movie ends. Seems like we have a serial St. Vincent de Paul shopper, and he's trying to bang chicks via Craigslist Missed Connections. How would you feel if your parents met that way? I was thinking about that. Like, I always love hearing my parents' story, right? It's a pretty classic story probably of that time. My dad hit on my mom at a bar. That's how they met, right? I've shared it before. Pretty straightforward story. Brittany and I met on a dating app, Hinge. Kind of boring, to be honest. Lame. Not interesting. But again, in the time, that makes sense. How would you feel if you're like, yeah, I posted an ad, not an ad. I posted something on Craigslist Missed Connections, and your mom was like, yeah, I was the petite blonde working at St. Vincent de Paul, and I reached back out to him and we met. It's kind of an interesting one. I bet the percentage of people that actually meet up has got to be so low. Like the smallest ever, right? It's got to be. I've actually never been in that St. Vincent de Paul. I only just drop off, take stuff out. I've never been in there. That place is packed, though. That's something white people love to do. You have people who need to go because it's, they don't have money and it makes sense. And it's obviously a great cause. And then you have white people who are like, oh, I'm going to get something trendy at St. Vincent de Paul. Well, I heard they got a good selection of that Beachmont Avenue one. And apparently cute blondes. Do I go up there? Do I go up there and show? Do I show this person? There's a part of me who wants to go up there, guys. There's a part of me who wants to go up there. When did this person post it? 11 days ago. And the guy who posted the St. Vincent de Paul on the other side of town was 12 days ago. I think they're connected. 11 days. Do I go up and just with my computer? I don't know why I need my computer. My phone? Do I just say, hey, look. Oh, you're a blonde chick? I just want to let you know there is somebody looking for you on Craigslist. Can I be the matchmaker to set up this missed connection? Can I be the Craigslist missed connection matchmaker? There's your new show, TLC. Instead of my 600-pound roommate who only eats turkey meat or whatever you guys are doing. What about that? I'm a Craigslist missed connection matchmaker. Doesn't flow well. Zero flow to that. What's one more I saw? This one was interesting. This is, again, posted in Cincinnati. Oh, this one was just removed. Interesting. It was somebody posting about where's a good place to get steak. And I was like, bro, you don't post that in Missed Connections. Also, Google exists. Look it up. Somebody posted, hey, I'm in town for a few days. I was like, is this like a code for like something? I'm in town for a few days. Can anybody recommend a good place to eat steak? I was like, have you ever heard of Google? Have you ever heard of Yelp? You ever heard of reviews? What are you doing? It's all right there. Same way you guys can review my show. That's a great way to plug right now. If you like the show, leave a review on Apple. Leave a rating on Spotify. Subscribe. Rate, review, subscribe. You know the drill. This guy was like, hey, where can I get a good steak in Cincinnati? Buddy, you know how to use the internet because you're on Craigslist. Maybe you should learn how to use Google. Is there any more by me? Any more? Oh yeah, one last one. This one to me was a code for like gay dudes hooking up. This was my inkling I got. This one is at a Kroger. We met last meet at the meat department. Gay. You were very friendly wearing a white cap. Sounds gay. We talked briefly and ran into each other again in the bread department. Extremely gay. Your name began with L, gay. Mine with a D, gay. Which probably stands for dick. What did I give you? Right, now it's a quiz. What do you remember? Contact me if interested. Is that a dude trying to hook up with another dude? I think so. Everything about that reads kind of gay. I have a good gaydar. Come on. I used to work for Dirty Pop. You know, my show aired on Out Q. It was a gay channel, which doesn't even exist anymore. But like, I got a good gaydar. I think it's a dude trying to find another dude on Craigslist, which again, buddy, just go on Grindr. Come on. What are we doing here? Just make it easy for yourself. All right, you guys want to get out of here? Let's do it. We do have a hotline, 859-935-0078. That is the Andy Ruther Show hotline. Again, 859-935-0078. Always in the description. So if you forget it, just click in the description. And like I said before, rate, review, subscribe, comment, whatever you want. I'm here. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next Wednesday. That's the word. Much love. Peace.